All right, streams up. Let's see. Yep, all the sounds coming through. Desktop audio is good. All right. Yep, perfect. Okay, guys. This is my third or fourth video on my Magic game. Let's see what do we got here. Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3 other ones. Okay, so this is my fourth progress video. This is my fourth progress video. So I haven't added anything new here. This is what's going to be the main menu in the future. Probably add some kind of graphic. I also had the idea to put like accessory customization, probably like right here, underneath the character menu. I also had the idea, I think I'm going to put a tutorial button right here, and I think I'm going to have that actually load you into the tutorial area. But obviously this is the base for the character selection menu. So you have like different races. You have the human, you have the demon, you have the angel, and each one I add is going to have special abilities. You can read it right here. This is a description of the character, and this is its ability. So yeah, we have that, and let's spawn in here so I can show you what's up. Alright, so we have the starting area, which I believe I'm going to make it kind of like I'm probably like a savanna or something. I think that's what I'm going to do for this area. And it's pretty big, and I plan on using this scattered tree model in many of the areas around here. Let's see. We also have a very large mountain range here. So let's go to this passageway I made. So basically, I think I'm going to make this like the starting area, right? And maybe past like a certain level, or it'll just be on the map. It'll tell you to go to this area right here. This probably won't be the only passage, but for now this is when I'm at this stage in development. So you're gonna go through here, and this passage will actually take you to the other part of the world. So let's go further out. And there we are. Now we're to the desert. And as you can see, I've added some mountains in the background here. Kind of like help without it just being just like flat terrain beyond the map, which it's not a great sight when you have something like that. Oh, I also added, what is this? This thing that's called Smart Bone. It's basically like a fluid fabric that has like wind physics and like movement physics bound to it. But yeah, I plan on actually making in-game accessories that kind of function like this. So I'll probably have like capes or like scarves like I have on right now. Just something else that'll be cool to add to the game. Maybe like some layered clothing as well that you can put on that make your character look cooler. Or if you don't want to wear it at all, that's perfectly fine too. But yeah, we have the desert, and I added this structures like a hunting tower scattered around the map in this area. We also have some dead trees over there. We got some rocks, you already saw it. Got dead bushes. And we also have different variations of the hunting tower, so more destroyed, less destroyed, stuff like that. We also have cactus models as well. I put a few of those around here. These are like giant saguaro cactus. I don't know, I probably didn't say it right, but they're very large cactus. And if you don't know, this week I've just been prioritizing getting the map mostly finished, like terrain-wise. Yeah, that's mostly what this week's development was about. I'm still not finished with it yet. There's a lot more to do, but I got maybe about 50% of like the terrain itself done. I think maybe by this time next week I should be done with shaping the map and actually be adding structures to it, like real structures like towns, maybe like a small city, you know, like a center hub. Let me see, we also have, I had some mountains around here, 2 little mountains you can climb on. Yeah, we have that. Let's see. Also, yeah, last time we played, I made the inventory system, so that's all good. Let me close that. I also did some work with the guns here so that they'll actually aim over the shoulder depending on which side you're aiming on. If you aim both, it's through the center. So that's all cool. And I also added a new crosshair as well. That's easier to see and aim with. I also added new firing effects for the guns as well. Which basically how these work is it starts out large and then it decreases in size when you're about to shoot. And it also has like a sound effect as well. So the sound effect, it like plays like a clicking sound, and then it gets faster as the gun charges up and fires eventually. So I think this should help people know when it's time to dodge or evade attacks, you know, properly. Like I think that generally just helps people in PvP. Let's see, do I have something here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, probably don't want to show that on stream. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That's just me and my friend Dor messaging each other. Let's see, do we have anything here? All right. Yeah, the progress, it's going pretty good. I have a lot more to do though on the map stuff. It's a very long process making terrain in Roblox. It's a very long process, especially when you can't always work on it all the time. But other than that, I mean, it's going pretty good. I have the desert design pretty down. Everything, I think the desert looks great. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with the savannah over there. And then what other biomes I might add as well. Oh, I also added these canyons over here. You may have seen in a previous video that these were just a very large, solid canyon with a single divide through the center. However, I changed it so that the canyons aren't actually one big division. It's actually a very large series of mazes. I'll show you right now. So let's see, we go up to the canyons. Let's find an entrance. And I think this should work just fine. Yeah, these canyons are very twisty and turny. You could probably get lost in them relatively easily. This could make for interesting dynamics, you know, with like outlaws hiding out or like PvP or trying to like find someone in here. Could definitely be very good for hiding places. Especially with all these dead ends and corners and stuff. You know, very tricky place to find yourself in. Let's see. Yeah, I quite myself, I don't even know where like the exits or entrances are because I just made this using like the terrain tool very quickly. This probably isn't great. Maybe that could get fixed later. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely do not want to get yourself lost in there. Let's fly over these real quick. Yeah, so basically this is what they look like from the surface. These rocks are just like broken apart. So there's a lot of twists and turns that you can go into here. Let's see, it looks like I set off the ragdoll by flying. But yeah, it's very, very twisty and turny, easily get lost in here. That's kind of the point though. I want this to be like a very difficult to navigate through maze area. preferably for like outlaws to hide in and stuff. Just that sort of dealio. But yeah, I think this is a very interesting location. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's a very, very nice place, I would say. I like it. It's definitely interesting. It's new. It doesn't feel like a copy and paste of like some other thing. It's pretty good, I would say. Oh my goodness. Definitely should not try mounting a horse in here. Alright, there we go. So we can get out of here. Let's see if we can find the exit. If there even is one. Oh, dead end. Oh my. Yeah, I think after I add like the building update later on, I plan to add building to the game. Like, I definitely plan on it, but the building system is not going to be here on release though, because there's a lot of stuff that I still have to work out regarding functionality of things like, what is it? I'm trying to think of it for a second here. How it works with like the destruction system, like what kind of permissions you'll have to use it during, say, PvP. And also, I kind of have to figure out what people want from it first before I add it. Like, maybe people want a certain style, you know, that sort of thing, but definitely building is not going to be here on release. It's going to be a very large update that I release later on. Probably maybe like a couple months after the game comes out. It should be finalized. Let's see here. Could probably hop out of the actual game here and go into studio. Let me see. You're making that. Okay, so we have a side dash or a parry bar like in Wizard West, or like a forward dash that takes 23%. Okay, no. So I kind of went away from that, but I still kept the variation of dodging versus parrying. So I don't know if you saw already, but in a previous video I showed blocking, which basically it spawns in like a shield from your character. Hold on a minute. Let me just... Installing Roblox Studio again, that's always great. But I made it so that if you hold a weapon in one hand, but then you aim with the other hand, it kind of summons like a shield where that other hand is sticking forward, you know? And that's kind of going to be like what the parrying is. I feel like Ed E in Wizard West, he should have expanded more on parrying instead of just giving you like a single parry. I mean, it works, but I don't think that's great how they did that. I feel like it should be a shorter parry bar with a shorter duration, but it charges up faster, so it's more like skill-based, you know, like you get what I mean, sort of, probably. But, yeah, so here, let me show you really quick. As soon as this loads. Alright. Okay, so if I dodge, it drains my dodge bar at the bottom. But if hold on, so I have a tool in my right hand, but I have nothing in my left hand. So if I hold left click, it makes a shield. And this shield blocks everything. Everything that's thrown at you, it blocks it. Except for the individual pieces on the shield have health. They each have their own health. And the health is maximum number is double the amount of mana. So each part on the shield has roughly 120 health right now, but it's slowly decreasing. and pieces of the shield can get shot and damaged where they will visibly be not there anymore, or they'll disappear. Basically, why I added shields is for like a larger weapon, like say, not fireball. I have a spell called execution, which basically it shoots like a death ray. It shoots a death ray. And even if you have your shield up, that kills you. So you have to dodge that, right? However, if someone is using a gun that shoots really fast, you can try dodging it, right? You can dodge it 5 times. But if they shoot more than 5 times, you're stuck. You can't dodge it anymore and you get shot, right? And you'll probably die. That's where the shield comes in. So you don't waste your dodges on something that shoots fast. You use your shield and the shield tanks all of it. So you use your shield against fast-firing weapons, and you dodge against slow, powerful ones that would break the shield. That's kind of the dynamic of PvP we have here. So it kind of functions like parrying in Wizard West versus dodging, but not really at the same time. A forward dash that takes 1/3 of your mana. Maybe I'll do something like that. I could imagine a forward teleport, obviously like in Wizard West, but instead of it using dodges, maybe I can make it use mana and dodge, right? So then it's kind of like double, it doubles up and it's more effective essentially. So you can use it for quickly forward traveling. I'm not really sure. I'll probably add something like that after the game is out and there's people testing like PvP and whatnot, because I don't want to add something if it's not going to be unbalanced. Like in a PvE game, you can have stuff that's unbalanced because you're just killing NPCs. But if you have a PvP game, you obviously have to balance it, because someone not having this makes them that much better, or not that much better. They just have an unfair advantage. And unfair advantages make people angry and they don't want to play the game anymore. And that's not good. That's not healthy for a game, right? That's just not healthy. So I'll try not to add that as much as possible. However, if the PvP community asks for something like that, and we do test it and it works perfectly fine, it's completely feasible, something like that could be part of the game, like a very long forward dodge or a short teleport, Die, skeleton, die. Pew. But yeah, if y'all haven't seen the building system, though, that I have already made, that I plan on adding to the game later after it's released, I'll give you a quick show of it. Let's see. So we have plots. If you've ever played Electric State, it's very similar, except instead of props, it's more like F3X, so like building tools. So we have our plot, which we can edit the size of it. I'll make it probably more intuitive for newer players to handle later on. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're just going to fly out of here. He spawned in a portal. We don't need any of that. That can go away. Let's see. Okay, let's try that again. So we have our plot, right? We can create a plot, and now it turns red, because this is our plot we own. And this plot is always here until you either leave or you delete it. So I'll probably make it so like this is like an optional spawn point after building is released, but not now. So we have our plot, and if I do place, I toggle place on, we can click and it spawns in bricks, right? You can toggle that off, and you can toggle on delete. That deletes a brick. We have bulk selection. Okay, hold on. How about I show you this first? You click on the block when nothing's toggled on, and then it gives you like drag arrows, right? And obviously the drag arrows, you click and drag, and then it drags them around, right? And if you press R, it toggles through to different modes, so you can rotate it, you can scale it, and then you can move it along with the object's current rotation. And we also have rotation increments, we have drag increments, we also have a part resize, so right now it's on 3. So if I click on it and then press enter, it makes it 3. But if I type a 4, it makes it 3, 4 to 40. It's very big. And if it's too big, it gives you an error, which is shown by this black terminal screen, part hit restricted area. That's what it says, because it's obviously colliding with the bounding box. And let's see, go back to size 4. And then we also have exact rotation. So you have 0, 90, 0, which sets it to that exact rotation. Why is my frame rate so bad? Let me see, and then 0, 9, 0, so that rotates it. Obviously, see, that's how that all works. And we also have a transparency box as well, so we can type in what transparency we want. There we go. See, that's all good. I'll probably tweak that later on, but we also have different types of parts. Here, I'm just gonna delete this freaking thing, hold on. Because I know what's lagging it, it's just this. Just so many robots in the game while I'm streaming. Okay, so that's way better. Alright. So we have that, and we also have this where you can turn a part into different kinds of parts. So right now I clicked on door, so now this turned into a door part, which you can interact with it, turns it non-collide and semi-transparent. We also have a lamp, which if it's hard to see it, but it does give off light. We also have a spotlight, which you know what a spotlight is. You can turn it back into a normal part by clicking that. We also have wiring in the game as well, so logic we have. We have smoke, so we can turn this into a smoke emitter. So have a fire emitter. And we also have LCD, which goes along with wiring as well. Cool thing is about the light sources is that if you recolor the block and then turn it into one of these items, again, after you recolored it, it recolors the particle effect. So you have green smoke, you can have green fire, you can also have green light sources, see? And not to forget, there's also different materials as well, which I probably have to change these because I overrided some of the materials with the terrain system here. But yeah, there's a lot of options here. We also have, let me see, where is neon? Yep, see, there you go. You can do all kinds of stuff. And for the wiring, I'm not really going to show you like this here. I will actually show you something I've already made using the wiring system. 16-bit calculator. This is actually a very long, extended adder circuit that I made myself. And basically what this does is it adds in binary. That's all it does. It just adds in binary. And these LCDs here are good at is using a display, which I'm definitely going to add more electrical components. You know, people that like building systems will probably absolutely love this. You know, this is very complex and you can build a lot of really cool stuff with this. I've attempted to build an arithmetic logical unit and try to build an actual functioning computer using this wiring system, but it was too difficult. It was just too difficult. I'm not a computer scientist. It was very difficult. But I made the arithmetic logical unit. I was able to do bitwise computation. I had a subtractor and an adder. You know, it was really cool. It was really cool. It was super freaking awesome. It was a really cool project. But here, I'll show you it in action. So we have these switches here, which basically, when you turn them on, they deliver power to the wire. Basically like how redstone works, if you've ever done redstone stuff in Minecraft. But we have these logic gate components here. So let's actually, hold on, let's just delete this wall here. There you go. So we have the let me see. This one is the exclusive OR component. So if wire coming into this side is on and that one's off, then it outputs on, right? Right. If you know how logic gates work, that you already know about that one. We have an AND gate here, so both of them have to be on in order for that one to be what is it? Outputting on. Yes, that's what I can think of. Then we have normal OR. And there's also, let's see, what other components do we have? We also have the NOT logic gate. We also have the one-way gate, just in case you don't want something to flow backwards, you know, like a diode essentially. And you have your LCD, which LCD is just black neon, and it has a back side to it. So it has like this gray part. That's the back side. If you have a wire coming in from this side and it's powered, it doesn't turn on the LCD, it just changes the color to white instead of black. So it's easier to see an output. I could definitely see someone making a like a very simple like terminal screen out of this, like you know, like the really old Pong screens where it's like just black and then you have the white Pongs moving around, right? You know, you could probably make something like that on here and it would be really cool. Let's see. Yeah, the speed of the wiring, it's okay. It's faster to turn on than it is to turn off, and that's just how the wiring tree system I have is made. It's the best I can do. It's the most stable it can possibly be, unless if I spent a lot more time working on it. But regardless, it's pretty freaking awesome. No, I'm doing a stream right now. It's nasty. Let's see. Also, another question: will you have gambling or luck-based skin or gun system, like when you use 100 scrolls to roll for a 1 in Wizard West? Maybe. I'll have to think about gambling, because gambling, I don't want it to like be like to have. Okay, so if you've ever been in like general chat in Wizard West, you'll see people talking about how they have like 14,000 kills and then some guy with like 8 kills got a freaking hex shot, right? You know, I don't want something dumb like that to happen in this game. That's freaking stupid. And it's ridiculous how many freaking wand scraps you need in order to get a good wand. I'm not going to do stuff like that. The only type of gambling I might add is possibly like lotteries. I want to add like stuff that multiple people can interact with at once. I had the idea of like a lottery system and a dual wagering system as well. So for the lottery system, you know how a lottery works. You have a lot of people betting on it, you know, each putting in the same amount of money or more, obviously, to increase their chances of winning, and whoever wins get a portion of the prize pot, right? I want to do something like that, a lottery system, which would just be a fun gamble. I also want to add a dual wagering system. So basically, you can probably like input maybe like 100 in-game currency, right? You could wager 100 in-game currency. And then the winner takes all. The winner takes all after the duel is over. Whoever wins takes more. If there's a draw, nobody wins. You know, that sort of thing. I want to add that, but I also want to put a limit. So people can't use that to like just transfer money between each other. But what I would do though is I want to add like a large like coliseum or like a dueling area that's made for dedicated PvP, where you can make very high wagers. So then that kind of incentivizes dueling amongst high level PvPers. So you have all the PvPers inside of a certain area for the most part, to not really bother the normal role players or the people who like adventuring so much. Because it sucks when you just want to adventure and travel around or role play, and then you have sweaty PvPers roaming the map and killing you. I want to incentivize it happening in a certain area. That's what I want. any other kind of luck system or RNG would probably be like maybe critical hits or a special spell that like rolls a dice, and the higher the roll, the more damage it does. You know, something from that. Yeah, a betting system with privacy from new players, possibly. Or I will let new players engage in it after a certain amount of time being in the game. Just something like that. Something like that would probably be really cool, and it would open up a really large environment for people who love to PvP. I bet a lot of people want to fight each other. People that do sweaty PvP, they obviously would love to be able to bet against each other. And it would probably make a lot of people angry too. But let's see. Vexora Syndicate. Is this going to be like Harry Potter? No. This is not going to be in the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter universe. No. No Voldemort, no Harry Potter, no freaking Dumbledore, no Gandalf either. This ain't Lord of the Rings. However, this is a completely made up universe. It's kind of taking place in like the desert in like the Nevada desert. I'm kind of basing it off of that, but it's not exactly in the US. It's not exactly. I'm not going to specify what time period this takes place in, just because I want to leave it open to the possibility of adding anything I want, essentially. But yeah, it's essentially Western themed, and you kind of have like angels, demons, and other monsters in the game, and you can play as some of these monsters. So you can play as like a demon or angel or a human. Those are the three characters I have so far in the game. I plan on adding things like maybe a wraith, maybe a gorgon, maybe an ogre or a troll you could play as. Maybe even I can add undead as well. But what I want to do is make it so each character you play as has its own ability, right? So the angel is tanky. It gets pretty much an armor set. It gets an armor set that actually works like armor against bullets and whatnot. The demon, it does more damage because it's using fire from the underworld as its source of power. It just does more damage because it's freaking fire, right? And the human is very wise, so it has higher mana regeneration and a lower cost with all the weapons. That's what this game is going to be based around. And certain characters, that could help influence what type of loadout you use, or certain play styles. Like, obviously, some people would rather be tanky and wield very large weapons and stand out in the open, versus some people who would rather run and gun, or people that would want a very high-powered weapon from far away, so sniping, It's magic, but like supernatural magic. No Harry Potter. No Harry Potter. I think there's been enough Harry Potter games on Roblox, and from what I've seen, almost all of them have failed because Harry Potter is kind of a dead franchise at this point. Like, a lot of the movies aren't great that come out. And what really keeps Roblox games going, for the most part, if they're not an original game, what keeps them going is the brand that they're based off of. Like Star Wars games, if you've ever seen them, they've been falling off lately because the sequels, they kind of ruined it for Star Wars. Harry Potter, there aren't a lot of more movies coming out, and the newest movies weren't that great. A lot of people weren't really big fans of it, so the Harry Potter games started falling off. And anime is extremely popular. So obviously anime games are going to be way more popular. I wanted to base it off of a supernatural setting set in the West as kind of an original or more of a topic that people never lose interest in. Like monsters, like I don't know why I can't think of a reason why people love the idea of monsters and fantasy so much, but people like it. So if I base a game off of that, it can't die based on the franchise dying. It can't, because it's not based off of a franchise. It's based off of stories that have been in the sociology of humanity for forever, freaking forever. It can't die off, you know. So that's kind of that's what the space is game off. That's what I base it off of. Wild West with supernatural themes, freaking monsters in it, you know. I want to add quests in the future. I'll probably have like defend the city quests or like defend the town, you know, from like undead or something. Maybe I'll do like zombies, you know, that'd be kind of cool. I'll probably do like monsters and stuff. I think what I'm gonna start with first is probably like necromancer skeletons, and human enemies. So like maybe like bandits or something, you know. And they'll kind of be like cannon fodder, but I'll have stronger enemies though, obviously. Let me see. I have a lot of stuff written on my list here that I have to work on next. So if you don't have any questions, I'll just go on with this. So this week I'll be finishing the map. Obviously, I am pretty like far through it now. Like, because when I talk about finishing the map, I talk about getting most of the terrain done. And terrain, it obviously takes the longest. Nothing takes longer than freaking terrain. And if we look at the map, well, let's see, let's zoom out. Come on, zoom out faster. So I'm not obviously going to go all the way to these map borders I have here on the square, but I'll probably do kind of like a circle around like this, you know. So I'm essentially like maybe a third of the way done, you know, so it takes a long time. And after the map is done, what I need to do is I need to make the main menu user interface. So that's where I'll actually put the buttons for like tutorial, accessories. Maybe I'll add a shop there. I'm not sure. I might not. But yeah, I'll add those there, and then I'll design how I want the main menu to look. And I might even design the graphic as well. I also want to add the tutorial. Obviously, a freaking tutorial. Very important. So that new players understand how to play the game. You know, like, obviously a system like this with a hotbar shaped like this and dodges, mana, horse stamina, you know, like you have to press E to equip your 4th weapon slot, and then you have to hold right click to aim it and then press F to shoot. You know, it's kind of a learning curve, right? So obviously new players are going to need a tutorial on how to use all of this. Oh, you got a quick question. Will there be brooms or only horses? Yes. Horses are going to be the main mount. Brooms, I don't think brooms really fit this setting, because brooms have been reused so much regarding like wizardry and Harry Potter. I kind of want to move away from Harry Potter. You know, if I wanted to make a wizard game, I would have just remade Wizard West myself. However, this is very different. This is very different. It's more based on guns. It's actually Western themed. Wizard West is not Western themed. It is not. There's only like 4 guns in it, and only like one of them exists during that time period. Like, come on. Like brooms would be cool, but it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Horses, however, horses are always cool. Horses work. Horses are great. And that's mostly what's going to be in the game. I'll probably add different kinds of horses. Like, maybe you could have a glowy horse, you know, that has like fire on it or something. Or you could have a normal horse that's just a normal horse that you spawn in, you know. We have different guns / spell classes that have accessories like Wizard West. No, I'm not going to do freaking spell cards like Wizard West has, where you have to buy the accessories along with the spell. No, I'm not going to add that. Accessories, spells, and guns are all going to be in separate things that you can buy. Like, I am going to have an accessories menu where you can equip stuff from there and purchase it from there, right? And then I'll have a different menu for guns and spells, right? But obviously, I'm going to have like subsections in that shop for spells versus guns because I want spells to be treated more as finishers or ultimates and guns being your main weapons. Game passes, I might add game passes for special characters you can play as. Like, but that's iffy though. That's iffy, you know? Like it might not be guaranteed. It might happen, it might not, based on how I feel about the character itself. Like, obviously, I want all the characters to be powerful in their own way. But if one is extremely powerful, I wouldn't want that necessarily to be locked behind a game pass. Like, if I made a vampire character you can play as, and let's just say every piece of damage you do to an enemy heals you, right? That would be freaking cool. But that would be kind of OP though to be put behind of a game pass. So I would want a character that would be more fun to be put behind a game pass, weapons that are fun to be put behind a game pass. I only want fun stuff to be put behind game passes, not overpowered ones, just fun stuff. Because I don't want people to have an advantage by paying money. I want people to have more fun by paying money. That's how it should be. Let's see. Yeah, continue on with my list here. We have basic missions when the game is released. I think I said this earlier. Defend the town. I'll probably have one where it's like liberate the town, so it's like already filled with enemies, and you have to kill everything in there to liberate it. I'll probably have, and then maybe like bandit hideouts or something. You also break down. You kind of fight into them. Let's see. I also want to make bandit/human enemies when the game is released, so that you have something to fight besides supernatural enemies. Dueling system. Obviously, I talked about this before. I want to make it so you can walk up to someone, request to duel them, and the person can accept the duel or they can wager, that sort of thing. Both sides are allowed to wager. And both sides have to agree on the wager before the fight even starts. And after both parties agree, you have to wait. You have to wait maybe like 10 seconds, right? The duel starts in exactly 10 seconds after both sides agree. There you go. And the duel, you can have rules in the duel, so like no spells, right? No spells, or no guns, right? Or no horses, right? All kinds of different rules. Let me see. I also want to add a bounty system as well, which in the future, a quest would probably be rob the bank. Obviously just something standard like that in a Western themed game, robbing the bank. You become an outlaw when you do that. Maybe robbing other players. I'll have to see how that works, but mostly the bounty system is going to be for killing other players. Bounties, if you die with a bounty, you lose an amount of money proportional to how wanted you are. If a player kills you, they reap most of that reward. Yeah, that's about it. Bounty systems are very simple. And I'll even make it so you can turn yourself in as well. No artifacts, none of that. None of that. No, none of that. Let's see, make a shop. Yeah, I have to make a shop as well to buy weapons, obviously, and accessories. I want to make probably like the main currency of the game, maybe like gold or like essence or something, Like maybe you can like harvest the essence from like enemies that you kill, or they just drop gold, and you just spend that, that sort of deal. But yeah, everything I said in that list is what I need in order to release this game. in beta, obviously. It's not freaking done yet. But that's pretty much it for my list. But I don't want to add artifacts like invisibility cloak or crown. I don't feel like that's great at all. I don't know. Because those items, like, I've played Wizard West, right? I played it a lot. I know a lot about it. I know how stuff functions. And basically, how the crowns work is you have it, right? And then everybody targets you, right? Or you want it, and then sweaty people kill you for it, right? It's only like how I see it is it's essentially capture the flag, but whoever is carrying the flag has a perk, right? Or like King of the Hill. That's how I see artifacts being used. Maybe like a game mode where it's King of the Hill, that would probably be something that could work in place of that. Because I don't think like artifacts really fit for this game. Like items that give you a special ability. I don't think so. I don't think it would be great. But yeah. Like this game isn't copying Wizard West. It's just taking a lot of the functionality and the dynamics of Wizard West. Because people absolutely love Wizard West. People that do PvP and people that don't do PvP. You know? People like it a lot. But the sucky thing is the developer only does seasonal updates. Like he doesn't update the game often because he doesn't believe enough people play it. But he used to update it regularly because a lot of people played it. So what happened is a lot of people played it, right? And after an update, people didn't play it so much because the update was stale. So then it made the developer believe that adding any update doesn't bring in players for a long time. So he decided to make the updates further apart. Well, what happens is you get a cycle of more and more players leaving. So then that makes him update the game less and less because there's less people playing it, right? So you can see what I'm getting at here is the game gets updated less and less and less until eventually it stops getting updates like some of his other games that I've played. I've seen this before. He does this. And it I don't know, it sucks. It's not a great thing to do as a developer. And I feel like people that play Wizard West, I feel like it's kind of sucky that he kind of does that. We'll be adding holiday updates or scenery changes to ensure your game actually stays running for special Halloween or Christmas decors for the building mechanics. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to update the game regularly. Obviously, I'm going to be patching bugs. I'm going to be working on the anti-cheat, making sure there's not freaking exploiters running rampant, you know? Like, that's just freaking nuts. I mean, maybe like special Halloween things, obviously, seasonal updates, but I'm not going to have it be only seasonal updates, though. There's going to be more than that. It's not just going to be seasonal holiday updates. You know, holiday updates keep people around for a few years, and then your game's dead. You know, like, that's how effective seasonal updates are. What you need to do is you need to be constantly improving the game. You know, reworking systems so that they're more efficient or they feel better. Changing, like, sounds in the game, changing special effects, changing how enemies work, improving the functions of the game, patching memory leaks. Like, there's so much that I could do that will keep people coming back way better than holiday updates. But of course there's going to be those. those will be included, you know? And I'm going to be actively talking with the community, taking in ideas. Because the best way to keep your game running is to take in the ideas of everyone around you, choose the absolute best ones, the ones that are most popular among the most people, and add them to the freaking game. Because those are the people that enjoy your game and play it. If those people aren't enjoying your game, then they aren't playing it. And they won't enjoy it as much if you don't add those things. Oh my goodness. I gotta get that off my freaking screen. Freaking jiggly man, whatever that freaking thing is. But yeah, like that doesn't happen in Wizard West. You know, none of these suggestions get added. None of them get added. The only thing that ever got added from suggestions was the media channel. But they made it so that normal people can't even post in here. You have to be the freaking ancient wizard role. You have to have this role to even post. You have to freaking boost the server. You have to pay actual money. Like, this is the only thing that got added ever. Everything that was added to Wizard West is something that wasn't in suggestions. No one asked for a spider spell. No one asked for a musket volley spell. No one. No one asked for that. That's just how I freaking see it. I see it. I see how freaking dysfunctional Eddie is as a developer and a community manager. He's so freaking dysfunctional. It's not even funny. Like, he can pump out a good game, and then like something just freaking like breaks. Like it's like you basically look at it like a freaking twig, right? And then the twig snaps, and then he freaking vanishes, right? He freaking vanishes, and then there goes the lifeline of the entire game. That's all I have to do for this game to stay running. I just have to be around and actually interact with people and add stuff that people ask for. That's it. That's freaking it. The hardest part is just getting it going, actually getting a freaking community of people playing it. That's the hardest thing. Everything else is easy. Because as long as there's people playing it, people will play it. That's it. Oh, and I know this is off topic, but you still recommend the most spell even though it does have HP, or should we all just switch back to Avada, Imperium, or Machinum? Okay, so Avada and Imperium have their own place in PvP. The musket spell is great because it is broken and it shoots twice as far. So you'll either use the musket spell for sniping because people can't hear it and they can't see the projectile, and it shoots twice as far. The musket spell is best for sniping. It's best for sniping or just whittling down the health of a large group of people. That's all you want to use it for. If you're fighting one person, I recommend you still use Avada. If you're fighting a large group of people and there so happens to be a noob, Imperium the noob, it's way more effective than Salvaro, you know, still. But each of them have their own place, you know. It's not one is always better. It's one of them has an advantage in certain areas and not other ones. That's kind of how I see the spells. I see them having their own advantages rather than one being better than all of them. Yeah, that's just my advice on what you should pick. So, like, generally overall, Salvaro is better overall. It has more use cases. However, a lot of people still have trouble dodging Avada, and if someone uses all their dodges and you force them into a parry, that's an easy kill, right? You know that. It's an easy kill because if someone parries it, they get knocked on the ground and you can kill them. Imperium, you know, you Imperial the noob. And then the new bot kills everybody. So you don't even have to do any work. Salvaro doesn't have a projectile, doesn't make any sound from far away, like you can only hear it when you're close, instantly damages people, and it shoots like twice as far. So you want to use Salvaro for mainly sniping. That's it. But yeah. This game, I kind of shoot for like late August for this game to be done. Yeah. And when it's done, I'm gonna do a stream on the day that I start like advertising it, like mass advertising it. I'll probably dump like maybe like a couple hundred, maybe like $100 into it or something, you know. And then I'll do like a really big stream, and then I'll tell everybody to invite everybody, and we all play this game together, and we get as many people in as we can. That's gonna be the main goal on the first day. But I'll kind of do like a countdown though, so people know the exact day that I will release, so we can kind of be all on the same track. And it'll be a very long stream. It'll be most of the day I'll be streaming. It'll be a very, very long stream. And we'll all have fun and we'll all duel each other. And I'll invite people to my Discord server for the game as well that I have made. And then those people, as long as there's a lot of people in the game, people will always come back. They will always come back as long as there's a lot of people in the game. That's all you have to do. And of course, I'm going to have all those people invite their friends, and everybody that plays on the first day, I'll give them a special item so that they can be rewarded for their for getting the game started. You know, they could be rewarded for that. Like, I'll probably add like a beta reward for people that play when I release beta. Maybe it'll be like a special gun or a special spell, or maybe it'll be like a character class you could play as, you know, right? But regardless, though, I'll give something out to everybody that plays early, just to kind of reward everybody for helping me out. Because really, like, the most important people that will ever play your Roblox game, if you ever make one, are going to be the first people that play. Those are the most important. Those are the people that are bringing more people to your game, whether it be through the algorithm or them inviting people to it. They are the most important people. And I also plan on teaming up with a couple of old guys that I know from from way back when I used to play Wizard Life, Eddie's first Wizard game. I'll team up with a couple of them so we can spread this to as many people as possible, so we can bring people from Wizard West to here, because that's what's most important. Getting players out of the like the cruddy dysfunctionalness of the other game into this one, where they'll actually be listened to and heard, which I think that's what a lot of people want. They just want to be freaking heard. Because if you go anywhere in the Wizard West Discord server, right, and you start asking for help, you're not going to get anything from the admins here, right? You're not going to get anything from them. Because all they can do is look at exploiter reports and compile a list for Eddie to ban. That's all they can do. They can't do anything else. Literally, they can't. Eddie, though, he doesn't talk to anybody, so you can't DM him. You can't. You can't talk to him. You can't. You can't. If you ping him, nothing happens, right? If there is something happening, or you have an amazing suggestion, all you can do is put it in the bug reports channel, which you don't even know if it was ever looked at. If you have a great suggestion and you really want the developer to add it, All you can do is throw it in here. And then maybe it'll get added. No, it won't. Quit joking. It'll never get added. He doesn't look at that channel. Wait, am I actually blocked from that channel? I can't freaking send messages in here. What? You can't send messages and suggestions anymore? What the hell? Bug reports, exploit report, trading, lounge. Since when did suggestions become closed? Yeah. You can't even suggest anymore. You literally can't suggest. Can I even reply to this freaking thread? Yeah, I can. That's weird. But you can't suggest in here. They don't care about what the community thinks. They don't. They honestly do not care about anybody's ideas. Like, honestly, this game is like, it's, I don't want to say it, but it feels like a cash grab packaged in a very good PvP game. It's so infuriating. It's so infuriating because I wish that I could have a freaking community like this and be engaged in it and have all this social interactions with people that absolutely love my game and freaking listen to them and be like, yo, I want to add this. Yes, add that. Please add that. You know, I want, like, it'd be so freaking awesome, you know, being able to interact with so many people. And you know what he does? He just sits there and doesn't do anything. I hate that. I hate that. It's oh. Like, I wish I was the freaking owner of Wizard West. You would have had maybe like probably like 10 or 15 more spell cards by now. If I owned it. It would have been freaking awesome. Like, I don't even care if it didn't even bring in more players. It would just be so cool to see everybody so happy. And I would have freaking rebalanced so much stuff because it's PvP. Stuff needs to be balanced correctly. Like, most of the spells are genuinely terrible. They're freaking bad. Why? Why are some of them bad and some better? This isn't a PvE game. It's not. This is PvP. Everything should be equally good. That's how you do PvP. Everything is equally good in different scenarios. But they don't do that. They don't care. They don't care. From the start, money is always what Eddie cared about. Like, I played the game really early on, so I was lucky enough to get access to this private channel, and Ed talked in here longer than he did in any other channel. And really early on, I remember him talking a lot about game monetization. A lot about game monetization. You know what he wanted to do? He wanted to make every single item that you could purchase a loot box. He wanted to put every single item you could purchase a loot box. He wanted to make spells a loot box. He wanted to make accessories loot boxes. You know, he literally did like a freaking poll because he really wanted loot boxes, but he didn't want to upset the community either. He really wanted loot boxes. That could have been bad. That's what he cares about. Because look, people are buying crap tons of scrolls to get good wands so that they can trade for better wands, right? Freaking 100 scrolls for one crate, a very small chance to get something good, and you're buying hundreds and hundreds of scrolls, and and the grinding. You know why he made the grinding suck? Is because he doesn't want you to grind. He wants you to get bored and just spend money on coins. Makes sense, right? You put it there, you put the ability to grind there, but you make it suck. So then people are more inclined to not grind and pay instead. And what he does this because he knows people are going to buy stuff for a long time. And people that buy stuff are more inclined to play the game for a long time. Because if you pay for something and then you stop using it, you're going to feel like you wasted it. You feel like you wasted your money. So it makes you stay longer because you feel like you're held hostage by your investment. You have to get your money's worth back out of it, right? That's the freaking premise. That's what keeps a lot of people coming back. Like, I guarantee you, a lot of the people that spend the most time in this game are going to be people that bought a crap ton of stuff and they don't want to feel like they let their money go to waste. So they're going to enjoy it for as long as possible. And this, I feel like it's disrespectful to players because the players are the people keeping your game going. They're bringing more people in. They're giving you their time to play your game. They might be enjoying it, yeah, like you could say that's a trade-off, but really, they're still giving you their time. And time is something that's so freaking important that you can't even put a price on that. You can't. Like, I don't get how he could have thousands of people giving him their time every single day for literal hours. And then he gives nothing in return for that, not a single update, nothing. You get a limited time event, right? You get a limited time event. All that does is reward the people that are playing during that event. That doesn't add any new content, nothing unlockable after the event is over. Absolutely nothing. That only rewards the people playing right now. Right now. Not your future players, not your past players that might come back. No, just the people that are playing right now. It's freaking stupid. And the only thing that does is give players that didn't play during that time resentment for people that did play during that time. That's it. You literally just resent those people because you wish he had those items. And you know what? If those items just so happen to be unfair, people might quit because it's unfair in PvP. Like Salvaro, yeah, it has really big advantages over other spells. It really does, even though they nerfed the damage. Why did they just nerf the damage? Why? They should have left the damage the same, altered the range on it, and gave it an actual projectile it shoots. That's what they did wrong. Because first of all, the spell shoots twice as far as any other in the game. And it doesn't have a projectile. It shoots twice as far and still uses freaking hit scan. That's ridiculous. Like, dude, if I shot someone with an arma at maximum range, it would take maybe like half a second for that bullet to finally reach them. That's enough time to dodge it. That is enough time to dodge it. I've done it before plenty of times, many times. However, I'm standing twice as far away, and someone shoots a freaking volley of muskets at me. That hits me instantly, and I can't even hear where it came from. In fact, the rendering is so bad in that game, you can't even see the other person. Yeah, it shoots freaking backwards. That's right. Yeah. Like, I can go on such a long rant about everything that's wrong with this game, and the fact that people are still playing it, and like it's just disrespecting the players at this point. Yeah, it's not great. I don't know why. I don't know why it operates like this. Like the freaking Discord server is it's terrible. Like the state of it. Like you can't get contact with anybody important enough that can actually do something. You can't. You can't. Like the only person you can contact is freaking Stas. But all he does is moderate the channel and look at exploiter reports. That's it. That's all he does. He doesn't even ban people. Eddie does. He sends lists to Eddie to ban. He sends him lists. That's all he does. And he's like one of the only admins you can get in contact with. Yeah, sure, you can ping KCO, but you know what's going to happen? He's going to tell you to shut up when he shows up. He's going to tell you to shut up. That's what he does. Rylock, no one talks to Rylock. Freaking, like, you and you can't talk to Eddie. Eddie is the only person that can get stuff done. No one can talk to him. Absolutely no one can. If he disappears, he's gone. He's gone. You ain't bringing him back unless he wants to come back. Like, if you want your opinion to be heard, you have to have a lot of people saying it. Like, you have to have maybe like a few dozen people saying it in the Discord channel for like an admin to react to it and be like, wait, maybe you have a point. Because a lot of people seem to have the same idea. But you know what? That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. A large group of people organizing to voice their opinion on Wizard West for anything is never going to happen. So you know what will happen? You're going to get less updates because the player count goes down, because Eddie believes less players means less updates, and it's an infinite feedback loop that plays on itself. Like, under 1,000 players, I already know this, under 1,000 players, you don't get seasonal updates anymore. You don't. That's how Eddie functions. If you get under 1,000 players, you no longer get even seasonal updates. I've seen it plenty of times before, and my god, Wizard West is dangerously close to that number. The lowest I've seen it at lately is like 1.2k players. And if it goes below that, this game is screwed. This game is screwed because of who owns it. And you know what's going to happen? He's going to make another game. That's what's going to happen. He's going to make another game. Yeah, really. He's not going to patch anything, fix nothing, but he's going to make a new game and start the cycle all over again. He's going to make the game extremely monetized. He's going to be there for a few months, very, very present in the game, talking to everybody like he used to. He does this all the time. I've seen it before. I've seen it myself plenty of times in other games. He's there, people like him. People actually get to freaking talk to him. Oh my god. I played Wizard Life, his first Wizard game, in 2017. And this guy, he was there for a whole month, and then he disappeared from that community forever until he made Wizard West. I was literally, like, how many years is that? Freaking 2025, 2017. That's 8 years. That's 8 freaking years. I waited 8 years to talk to the developer of the game. And I actually spoke to him in freaking voice chat. I actually spoke to Eddie. And it was crazy. I was like, oh my god, this freaking guy, the guy that's so great at disappearing for years. I finally get to talk to him. And then, whoosh, he does it again. Gone forever. Like, bro, he's already freaking left Wizard West. If you say it anywhere in the Discord server, you just get freaking mocked. You get mocked. You can't say that because the admins here, they know it's true. They know it's true because they still talk to him. They know it's true. They know how he works. They know what he does. He makes a game monetized, works everybody up to think he's going to stay for a long time, and then he vanishes. But he knows that if there's people playing the game, other people will play the game. And he doesn't have to do anything anymore because there's people playing the game already. See, that is it. The hardest thing is getting people to play it at first. And as soon as there's people playing it, the algorithm, people inviting their friends, people playing with their friends, keeps the game going for a very long time without updates. And as long as he has moderation in place and monetization in place, boom. It's like you're auto farming money. You're just auto farming money. That's what he's doing. He's AFK farming right now. Yeah. You want to know how many players it took for him to finally make a wizard game that's not Wizard Life? You want to know how many active players it took for that game to drop to in order for him to make a new game? I think it was around maybe like 30 players. Yeah. Yeah. It was freaking redonkulous, man. I don't even know how you can manage that. And yeah, you know what he's going to do? He's going to make another PvP game when this game is pretty much dry. That's what he did with Wizard Life. A lot of people bought, what is it? VIP. A lot of people bought VIP. And basically how he structured the game is he made it, quote, a role-play game. But it was actually a PvP game. You know why? Because the game only functioned if you had the most expensive spell in the game, which was Avada Kedavra. That was the only spell that could kill players. I don't know if he knew this at first, but he definitely figured it out later. The freaking system he had in place, you had to play for a certain amount of time to get a certain amount of coins. So like every, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes, you get a certain amount of coins for free, right? And you can obviously buy coins, but you have to play for maybe a few days to unlock the most expensive spell in the game and finally be able to PvP with people. And the PvP community in Wizard Life was extremely huge at the time. It was big. It was freaking awesome. Like, they had, like, national ranked duels with, like, 20 versus 20 people. It was, like, the coolest freaking thing ever, dude. And how this system makes him a lot of money is that you have to play for a few days in order to unlock the spell. You have to do literally a few days of just solid game time, not quitting, just for a few days straight. And a lot of players back then had Roblox Premium. Well, if you spend a lot of time in a game with Premium, you get a lot of premium payouts. And basically what he did is he just let people play the game for years with freaking Premium. And he got so much money from it. Yeah, believe it or not, Roblox freaking Premium payouts, they give you a lot. Like, I literally had this game. It was like Left 4 Dead or something, if you ever played that before. It's a zombie game, right? And maybe it would get like 10 or like 20 visits every day when I first made it, right? And it was just random people, right? But I would get maybe like 100 or like a couple hundred Robux every month from it, just from like 10 or 20 visits. And like people never even like freaking play it. Like they played it for like a single minute. And I was like, how am I getting this much? Like there's nobody playing it. Imagine how much he's freaking getting off of 1,000 people playing it Every hour of the day. Holy smokes, dude. It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that he runs his games like this. He gets a lot of money with minimal effort. That's the key here. Minimal effort, maximum amount of reward. When he was around, he talked about how long it took him to make the game. And then he talked about how rewarding it is now, how rewarding it is. Not like in a way where he cares about how happy his community is about the game. He talks about how rewarding it was for him. Right? I mean, this might sound stupid. I mean, I'm not trying to paint him as selfish here. But what I'm saying is he doesn't care about the community. He cares about people playing his game for extremely long periods of time without him doing any work on the game. That's what he expects. He expects people to play Wizard West for years, just like with Wizard Life. That's what he expects. He expects people to play it for years with 0 updates. And yet, it might work. It might work. Maybe people will stay here for a long time and give him a lot of money. But doesn't that just sound wrong in a way? Like, it just seems wrong. And I don't know. It just seems blatantly wrong to treat your freaking community like that. Like, I feel like people that play your game for years should be rewarded. Rewarded in some way that isn't just other people playing it with them. Because that's all you're going to get. You're going to meet friends on there playing it for that. Yeah, you're going to meet a lot of friends, but that's it. You don't get any in-game items. You don't get anything that's fun. You don't get anything new. Yeah. You know why? You know why everything went downhill after the Easter update? Because he said that the staff would be tradable the day that the event ended, the very day that it ended, right? It took him a month to make it tradable. And forever, the staff could collide with freaking spells, and he never fixed it. Like, people were using it in duels just so it could freaking block a Vada Cadaver by them standing a certain way. Like, really? Really? Freaking really? Really? What? Really? Yeah, it's dumb. But never did anything with it. It took him a freaking month to get rid of it. Yeah, and then he didn't make it tradable for the longest time. Like, really? What? And then he freaking just left it up. Like, what is this guy doing? Like, I get maybe he's busy, right? Yeah, let's just say he's busy, right? It takes me maybe like two hours to make something in my game by coding, you know? And judging by what I've seen from Eddie, he's just about as good as coding as me. Right? I mean, maybe he's really good. Maybe he's really good and he just doesn't put in the effort, right? And like I don't get it. I don't get how he could just do nothing and then use the excuse that he doesn't have any time. But he is not even the one freaking saying it. It's everybody else that he knows that's saying it. He is not even the one saying it or anything. He doesn't say anything to anybody. Like, he just freaking cut off any way to communicate with him. No one communicates with him. And no one probably will for a few years. It's just going to be his freaking lackeys sitting around. Talking to everybody. Telling people to shut up. Telling people that, yeah, that's a really good suggestion. But you want to know something cool? That's never going to get added. That's the exact opposite of what I want to be. That freaking sucks. Like, I feel like it's more work to just make a new game over and over again than to just make one game and just make it the best it can be. Like, you know? Like, you have a community for that game. Why don't you freaking strengthen that community? You get even more people coming in. Like, come on, dude. That's like the most freaking backwards way I can. Like, he's so freaking backwards that he has the notion that nothing he adds to the game will make it better. Nothing he adds to the game will bring in more players. He already has that notion. He has the notion that the game is fine. That's it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I'll probably end this stream now. I think I kind of showed everything I added to the game. Let me see. And anything, so I'll publish it anyways. But yeah, guys, let's see. Tell your friends about this new game I'm making. Obviously, invite people to the Discord server. Join it. If you haven't already, I have a link of it in this video in the description. Subscribe, obviously. Can't think of anything else. I'll probably make another video next week at about this time. Yeah, and I'll probably have a lot more of the map done by then, so it'll be kind of cool to see that. Alrighty, see ya.